Hey everybody, this is Kiana, and today I'm dropping in to talk about another portfolio entry of mine, and this one is building Excalibur. This one is a bit of a, first it is a self-appointed project, but this one was a really passionate one, and you'll see as we go through. But it was my first build of a lightsaber. I wanted to go after the classic lightsaber built from the original trilogy of Star Wars. It's the lightsaber that belonged to Anakin, was handed down to Luke, and I'll be straight up, I think Finn should have had that lightsaber for the sequel trilogy, but that's a whole nother story. So a thing about this is a replica of the Graflex 3-cell flash gun. It is not the actual thing. I point that out because the 3-cell flash gun is a piece of photography equipment. It was used back in the 40s, I think the late 30s, really late 30s. I don't remember the time frames here, but it was like a flash handle used to flash photography. So I point out that it's a replica because there is a thing between, I don't know how it is now, but the thing between the photographer spaces and the Star Wars spaces, where the collectors of these who were Star Wars fans, certain photographers would see the practice of Star Wars fans collecting this as a sort of affront to the legacy of photography. But look, I'll be honest, I understand it. I understand literally being a fan, and I point that out just before I get into the rest of this. So it's off dome, everybody knows. So this was the first time I ever really did any heavy soldering work. Any building of electronics. I used to tinker with stuff before and laptop pieces, but this was just different. As you can see, I'm scrolling down here showing the process of using the magnifying glass with little clips attached to it so I can look at the wiring. These parts are really small. Here's a penny next to the heat sink for the focusing lens and the LED to give the lightsaber its luminosity and its color. And here's another photo of the PCB, the printed circuit board. All these little holes at the top of the circuit board are places where I had to use wiring to solder these things together, whether it be to the LEDs themselves, or it be to the battery or to the speaker. As you can see in this pic right here, the battery and the speaker is up there. And the point of how I put everything into one was this chassis. Off top, I can't really remember, but I got this part from someone who was selling internals, lightsaber internals, and this chassis connects to this ribbed upper section of the lightsaber. It connects to the bottom as it sits inside of the bottom of the Graflex replica. As you can see, I already put the tracking, the rubber tracks on the bottom, and I already put together the upper half to see how it would sit once it's in the hilt and everything, and a little bit about the soldering. So it was both fun and agonizing. I don't have the best soldering job. It was literally my first time, but I did feel that I did the soldering for the LED well, considering, especially with how small they were. They were ridiculously small, and during the actual process of hooking up the wires to the LEDs, I thought I was going to mess something up. But the base of the LED is made of copper, which is great for heat dissipation. And you can see a little bit here, the thing about this, to get the lightsaber color that I wanted to mimic the special effects of the Empire Strikes Back, version of the lightsaber. It was a very nice sky blue. It was a bit faded. It just looked really cool on camera. Of course, there were rotoscoping special effects to make it look cool as well. But in regard to the LED in the community at the time, for the type of lightsaber I was building, it was just a matter of picking 2 colors and 1 plain white LED for the like the diodes for this 3 little triangular pattern you see here. And that's how I got the like light blue color. It comes from the hilt. It's not like a line through the blade like it was for Force FX or the later models of the custom lightsabers like with NeoPixel. But I was happy with it because at the base it's a bit stronger. It gives me the feeling like energy is actually like beaming up and then being contained in the force field, like as best it can be, like it is as is described in the Star Wars lore. But here it is in comparison with a Black Series, a Hasbro Black Series Darth Vader Force effects that I had, and that one's on the right and mine is on the left. Again, like while the Darth Vader one has more even lighting, it's not as bright. And I never got around to making the NeoPixel blades. Like I never made a rendition of those lightsabers yet, but I did get into the overzealous habit of making screen accurate hilts, like using weathering and painting. And I did that with a Darth Maul set, and I basically just did some spray paints and did a little bit of like stenciling, like experimentation. Like this whole process basically was like my first time doing something like this. But the thing is, the actual purchasing of the innards of the lightsabers and stuff, it gets so freaking expensive. So you know, like a lot of these projects ended up just being for the hilts. Like just see, like here I did the Kylo Ren one a bit. This was early in the Force Awakens production. It wasn't actually released, so this hilt was mad small and it wasn't like accurate, but I made it work to the best of my ability. The Darth Maul one was my favorite because this was like the coolest lightsaber. Growing up as a kid, seeing the double-bladed lightsaber, it was just so badass. But I also did a version of Luke's Return of the Jedi hilt, and his is like, it's the V2 hilt. He had 2 of them. He had the one with the bronze, and this one was the V2. It was like black, like that's why it's all black. It's not like bronze. And this last photo was just the lightsabers I had at the time. This is a Black Series Graflex. It's not the one that I built. I had sold the one that I built at this time, and then this was the Kylo Ren and the V2. Yeah, this was a fun project overall. Here's another picture of the Empire Strikes Back variant with the 2 like red buttons, one in the front, one in the back. Another thing about this is I got the Force Awakens circuit board for the side. I don't remember if it was the Empire Strikes Back or not, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And thanks for tuning in. And you can see these for yourself in high definition on my website at TheKianaMarrie.com.